Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 30th of December. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. So I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a look at where we're up to on the targets. Now, obviously, when we broke up from these little IHSs here a few days ago, I was calling basically for new all-time highs across the board. How are we doing on that? Well, we've got them, not on ES, but that's only because of the roll. We have got a new all-time high on SPX. And we've also finally reached, after a bit of activity on the European markets, we've also reached the retests on DAX and ESTX, which is great, so we can knock those off too. The three we're remaining are NQ, where we've got not that close because this actually is a high on Qs. So here we're still some way behind. RTY has actually been, this is an alarming decline, and I'm wondering, the reason I've drawn this line in here is this is the point at which this inverse head and shoulders would fail. So I've drawn that in. We haven't reached that yet, but I'm starting to wonder if we're going to. YM, we've seen a bit of a retracement here. Obviously, the back below the, back at the level pretty much. The double bottom broke up. I'm still expecting all of these to make target, but I'm wondering about it. And I would say that the, obviously, in terms of the stats for the remainder of this week, we have a neutral essentially day today and a neutral day on Friday, very slightly leaning to the bear side today, and we've got a significantly bearish day tomorrow, something like 2/3 plus red closes. So this actually isn't the ideal time to be going down, but obviously historically this is we might have missed our opportunity to do clean retest last week. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the big picture charts, where the first thing that sprang to the eye this morning was that IWM actually closed below the daily middle band yesterday. Now that's not as serious as SPX doing it, but obviously it held it pretty well here. I am wondering if we could see a significant fail here in terms of the chart we've got here on the hourly. I am wondering about the possibility we could see a flag forming. And I'm just going to draw in a trend line here. I don't think this is a channel, but why speculate? Easy enough to test. I'm pretty sure that's not a channel, and I might be wrong. That is a potential flag channel. Now, obviously, if that flag channel is going to deliver, that means we're going to, if it's going to continue forming, the next obvious target would be going to get down to 245. Now, tomorrow is a day we could do that. And obviously, we've already broken the daily middle band support. So watching that with great interest. We will see. We've got a little positive divergence here. I'm keeping an open mind, but I am wondering if we get down to 245, that would be A, B, C, and we'd be heading down to about here. And obviously, that IHS at that point would fail. But we'd still have a bull flag, and I'd still be looking for a retest of the high afterwards. All right, just knock off DAX and Nikkei here quickly. DAX, actually, the retest we're just seeing here isn't the retest of the all-time high, it's the retest of this one here, I think. We'll see how that goes, but I don't think we've got back to the all-time high overnight. We may not do that, and obviously I've got a possible alternate head and shoulder set up here in the event that it doesn't. On Nikkei, this looks like a triangle, and it looks like a triangle that is breaking up. So waiting to see if that's going to deliver, but if it does, we should see a retest this high here at 52.6. Gotta say, I'm not seeing, one thing I was watching out for this week and last week was decent topping setups, and I'm not seeing those yet. And that is suggesting that in the first week of January, we may well go up because we need to go and do those targets. We may be forming consolidation patterns to get us up to those targets this week. Let's have a look at those on the others. All right, let's have a look at those on SPX. cues. And Dire, looking at Dire, we're still somewhere above the daily middle band. On the hourly chart, no current negative divergence. Could we be forming a larger flag there? Yes, but there's nothing to suggest really that is happening. No current divergence on the 15-minute. We have got a lower high here. In theory, we could form a flag here, but honestly, if we're going to be forming a flag, unless the relative performance of IWM and Dire changes quite a bit, by the time we got down to a lower low on Dire, or possibly a higher low for a triangle, we'd probably have killed off any chance that setup on IWM was a flag. On Qs, we actually got down to test the daily middle band yesterday, which was weaker than I was expecting. In terms of the hourly chart, no current divergence. This looks like a bullish triangle at the moment. So if that is the case, I'd really be looking for, well, a move up starting soon, which would head back up and retest the all-time high at 636.19. At least I'm pretty sure that's where it is. Yeah, that is the all-time high. All right. On the 15-minute chart, little bit of positive divergence here. I haven't marked it in, but we do actually have an RSI 14 buy signal fixed. It's not a bad one. All right, ES, getting down towards the daily middle band, but not close to a test of it yet. If we are going to set up daily sell signals, then actually the decline that we were watching yesterday was a good way to start that. On SPX and not on the Qs, because we hadn't actually made it back up to the 70 level yet. But I think on Dire, yeah, I mean, we could set up some nice sell signals as long as we don't go down too much first and get below the 50 level. Looking at the SPX chart, not a lot to see. I'd be looking for daily middle band if we get there, but there's no particular reason to think that we will. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. But really, we've made the IHS target here already. We've made the new all-time high. I've got a couple of trend lines. Well, I've got a trend line here marked in, which isn't too far above. We could hit that, and we do have also an RSI 14 buy signal fixed here on SPX. My lean would therefore be short term. I'm thinking probably bullish, and I'm leaning towards seeing a bit more. Possibly another attempt at higher highs. What I would say is, I'm just going to pull up another chart to show you something. I don't usually show you these because these are the shorter term charts, but hang on. This is one thing that struck me on the chart yesterday, and that is, hang on, bear with me a moment. What do you see there? Because I'm seeing a possible inverted head and shoulders forming, and it's not a bad one. We could see that break up today and deliver high retests and possibly get us a bit closer to those targets on the charts that haven't made it back to the new all-time highs yet. So we will see how that goes. I'm still looking for those targets. If we don't see them this week and we don't see a big breakdown, I'll be looking for them next week. All right, let's have a look at DX. DX, we've got a nice looking inverted head and shoulders that's broken up and done absolutely nothing. So I'm starting to wonder whether this is, well, it's a decent technical inverted head and shoulders, but at the moment we're not getting above what we could pivot after multiple attempts. That may change. But if it doesn't, we'll be down here and retesting the low before too long. Looking at the other currency pairs, USD, we have got a nice looking rising megaphone here, and look how very well that was respected as we came down to here. This is now breaking. So this rising megaphone is breaking down. We've already got a nice looking double top. This is a decent looking bearish setup on USD, so that would be bullish on DX. In terms of GBP USD, again, looks like it is topping out within this overall rising wedge, and we've got a decent looking little double top here now. On USD JPY, obviously we've got unfinished business above at the retest of this high here in the 158 area. All of these are suggesting that we could see a decent move up on DX. What we're not actually seeing is much on DX, which is actually looking short-term bullish at the moment. On ZB, ZB, possible double bottom here or part formed IHS, keeping an open mind, bigger picture. I'm still leaning towards being down. ZN, the same. CL, all the sell signals made target on the oils. HO, we've got a possible larger double bottom here. Not a lot to see in terms of RBOB or CL on patterns. NG, we had an IHS break up. I called this yesterday. That's broken up with a target in the 4.52 area. At the moment, we're making good progress towards that. So I am taking this seriously, and it's a decent looking pattern. On GC, we saw a very sharp retrace. I haven't seen confirmation of it yet, but I think that appears to be due to a big player in silver getting knocked out and getting liquidated. And I understand it might have been JP Morgan. I mean, not obviously everything, the whole bank liquidated, but their division basically getting lost on their bets. I would assume if that was the case, then they were shorting it, which was obviously a bad idea and not to be recommended. So that could have knocked this down. It seems to be on its way back up here. No buy signals on GC or SI. But the little head and shoulders on SI has failed. On Palladium, we've got a 6-minute buy signal fixed. On Platinum, we've got a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed. And these are both seeing decent rallies today. They may just resume the uptrend. On HG, got a weak buy signal fixed there too. And it looks like it's heading back up into the retest the high, testing the weak pivot at the moment. Looking at KC. KC, this could be a bear flag forming, but currently it doesn't really look like anything, so I'm keeping an open mind. We've got the declining resistance up here in about the 367 area. Looking at sugar, this still hasn't quite made the double bottom target. This still looks very, very much like overall bear flag forming. On CC, we haven't quite made it to the double bottom target, so I'm wondering about that. I'm thinking we may well still make it. If we go down directly from here, I'd be wondering whether a overall bull flag would be forming here. On CT, nice looking overall double bottom. Lumber, we have a overall likely bear flag forming, I think. The IHS target has already failed, so we haven't got any targets to the upside. GW, looking for a reversal pattern to form that could involve a retest of the low. And actually, I've got to say, this kind of looks like a short-term bull flag, so I'm wondering about a retest of this high, come back and retest the low, and then go up. We'll see. On corn, looks like we may be heading back again for a retest of the low. This wouldn't be to set up a double bottom, but it might be establishing a larger consolidation triangle. This does look as though it's consolidating before and move up. On soy, we've got a nice looking bear flag either forming or already broken down, so I'm wondering about a retest of the low. On ZL, we've got a double bottom which is broken up with a target in the 50.45 to 56.8 area, and has done very little since. We're retesting this high. We could be setting up a small double top if it's going to fail. Live cattle, nice looking little double top potentially. Looks like a bullish consolidation. Likely heads up whether or not this little double top breaks down. We will see. HE, we've got a large double bottom is broken up with a target in the 88.65 to 90.2 area. We're breaking down below rising support and we're struggling to get over weak to pivot. Obviously, that needs to be broken and converted to open the upside. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions, of which we have none. In which case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Cheers.